Hi, and welcome to worship. My name is Michelle Hopp, and I serve the Community United Methodist Church in Poynette, Wisconsin. And I'm so grateful that you could join us today. I hope that you are having a good week. We're going to continue our series on heroes of the faith, and we're going to be showcasing 4 different women of the Bible this summer who became heroes in their own right. And we'll learn about their story and how we can apply what they did and what they learned into our own lives. So today we are going to be talking about Rahab. And Rahab was a very successful businesswoman. She was an innkeeper, and she was very brave. She did something knowing that God was on her side, even though it was a God she was unfamiliar with. And, well, we'll get into the story in a little bit. And so I want to start today with a call to worship, but I'll say both pieces because I think these words are so beautiful. It says, the world may label you as this or that, but God knows us as beloved. You may feel empowered or not enough, but God can still use our gifts. Come and worship just as you are, for you are God's child. Let us praise with bold hope and deep love. You are enough. And so is Rahab, and we're going to learn more about her. If you want to find out more about Rahab in the Bible, I will tell you where to find it. It is in Joshua chapter 2. So that would be a good chapter for you to read, to learn her story. And behind me, I've got burlap sacks, and I also have Twizzlers because Rahab hid people under flax. So I figured burlap's pretty close to that. And then to save herself and her family, she hung a red cord from her window. So I'm going to give the kiddos an opportunity to hide one of them under the burlap sacks or the flax. And then also to have those licorice sticks, because then it'll remind them as they eat it of the bravery, the heroism of Rahab. So let's get into this. And I'm going to start with a question that it's a hard one. It really is, especially in church. Have you ever lied for a good reason? And this question is really tricky to answer truthfully, especially when you're in a church. Because our faith teaches us the 10 commandments. And commandment number 9 says, don't lie. Well, it actually says, don't bear false witness against your neighbors. So many of us think that we should never, ever lie. But what if our circumstances are so dire that boldly lying is our only ethical decision? So for example, let's say that you are at church and your friend has just left the church and walked down Main Street to go to the library. And a person with a weapon enters the church and asks if you have seen a person that matches your friend's description. We're told not to lie, but in that case, you'd lie. I would say the vast majority of us would. We'd either say, no, I didn't see anybody with that description, or I'd say, yes, I did, and she went that way and point them in the wrong direction. You know, sometimes we have to boldly lie to do the right thing. Now, what is boldness? Well, the Bible explains that God gives us boldness to do God's will, and then God gives us the power to do it. We have little or nothing to do with it. When you see a bold, faithful person, God's behind that. They have very little to do with it. So we're bold by God's power. It means that we are humble in our own power. We aren't heroes in our own strength. We need God's help to do that, to do God's will. So today's hero, Rahab, takes bold action and also boldly lies to save 3 of God's people. So let's explore her story a little bit. It occurs right after the Israelites' beloved leader, Moses, dies, and Joshua becomes their leader. God says it's finally time for the Israelites to leave the 40 years of wandering in the wilderness and get into the promised land. So Joshua, the new leader, needs to scope out the new area. And so he sends 3 spies into the land of Canaan, and in particular to the city of Jericho, because he wants to get a lay of the land before he takes his troops in to take it over. So Rahab is instrumental in God's mission to enter the promised land. And interestingly, some biblical interpretations suggest that Rahab's home was an inn or a tavern, and that she was likely an innkeeper. But others take the text literally and say, well, she was just a prostitute working in an inn. Now, this is probably because in that ancient patriarchal society, women who fell outside the traditional roles of wife and mom were marginalized, made fun of, and depicted negatively. Whether Rahab was an innkeeper, a prostitute, or both, she was financially independent and a woman, and she went against the expectations of women at the time. It's also important to note that Rahab is not a friend to the Israelites. She's not on their side. She's an outsider. She is the last person that the king of Jericho, her king, would expect to play such a critical role in God's plan. God does the unexpected, supporting and using people that are unexpected and who usually live in the margins of society in order to do God's will. Rahab is bold and hides the spies and then lies about it. In addition, Rahab boldly asks the spies to save her family during the upcoming battle. When Israelites are going to invade her city, she goes, hey, I did this for you folks. What can you do for me? And so the spies say, yeah, you're right. So take this scarlet or red colored cord, hang it from your window, and make sure your entire family is in your house, and we'll make sure that you are unharmed. Now, there's a similarity in this story and that of Corrie ten Boom. She was a great, brave leader during the Nazi occupation of her hometown, the Netherlands. She was born on April 15th, 1892, near Amsterdam, and she had 3 older siblings, so she was the youngest. And her father owned a watchmaking shop, and the shop was on the bottom floor, and then the upper floor of this building is where the family lived. They were devout Christians, but highly respected their Jewish friends in Amsterdam, calling their Jewish friends God's ancient people. So they were highly respectful and accepting of the Jewish people. And Corrie was the first Dutch woman to be licensed as a watchmaker. That's pretty cool. She worked in her dad's shop and created a youth group for teenage girls where she taught religious studies and sewing and other arts. But then in May 1940, the German armies entered her country, the Netherlands, and soon began the Nazification of the Dutch people. Now, the Ten Boom house became a safe place for their Jewish friends. And the family, they built a secret room with very crude ventilation, but enough so people could breathe in there. Upstairs in Corrie's bedroom, behind a false wall, it could hold 6 people, and when the Nazis entered the neighborhood, the family would ring a buzzer that would ring throughout the entire house, and it would give the people about a minute to get into the secret hiding room in Corrie's bedroom behind this false wall. Unfortunately, though, on February 28, 1944, the Nazis received a tip that the Ten Boom family they were hiding Jewish people. And soon the entire family was arrested and sent to prison. Then it gets worse because Corrie and her one sister Betsy, they were transferred to the Ravensbrück concentration camp. And Betsy died in December. And Corrie, by some miracle and a clerical error, was released a few days later, completely in error. Now, the Ten Booms were heroes used by God. They saved an estimated 800 innocent Jewish people. They boldly lied and took action to save lives. To learn more about Corrie ten Boom's story, you can read her book called The Hiding Place. There's also a 2023 movie with that same name, The Hiding Place. Highly recommend either one of them. So today, not today, but if you're in church on Sunday, you will hear testimony from Sally Stewart. And she is very influential in our community's wrestling team. And she also had a lot to do with the foreign exchange student, Marta, on becoming a wrestler and going to state. And this young woman had never wrestled before. So we all can be heroes in our own communities, in our own ways. So the main idea from Rahab's story is that God gives us strength to be brave and to take risks. And then God empowers us and fills us with hope so that our fears settle down and we can act boldly. And God uses unexpected people. Often you find that when God is using you, you are like the least perfect person for the job. You're often in the margin of this area. For example, I'm afraid of public speaking. God used me to public speak. I am the last person I ever expected to be called to this. That's what God does. God uses us in such unexpected ways that we just have to learn to let go and be bold and let God use us. So what choices can you make this week to improve your life and that of others around you? What choices can you make that are good and right? And what choices can you make that are loving? It's better to be loving than to be right. And that's really hard for us. Let's pray. Oh God, who calls us to take risks, give us the courage of Rahab as we continue to seek after your call. Be with us as we go forth into a new week full of risks and new opportunities for blessing. And may our eyes remain open to your presence and work around us. Amen. So this week, maybe get yourself some red Twizzlers. Think about them hanging out of your window. And remember that God is here to save us all. And God is going to use each one of us if we don't get in the way. Hope you have a wonderful week. May God bless you and keep you. See you next time.